Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? I'm here to do a video on my favorite makeup brushes, and this is going to be a two-part video. I'm going to be doing my face brushes first, and then I'm going to be doing my eye brushes second. So let's get started. First, I want to talk about my foundation brushes, and these are the 5 brushes that I usually use right here. And from these 5 brushes, I have 3 that are my favorites, and that's these 3 right here. The first one I want to talk about is the Makeup Geek brush. I bought this a few years back, and it's held up amazingly. Does not shed whatsoever. It's never shed on me. It's super dense. It's obviously flat top kabuki. I love the way it works. It buffs in my makeup so well. It leaves it seamless. And what I like about it too is that I don't have concealer brushes that are specifically just for concealer. I do have concealer brushes for my under eye area, but I don't have concealer brushes for the rest of my face. So I like this brush for my concealer because it's nice and flat. And so what I do is that I'll dot the concealer over my face, and then with the flat part I will blend it in. I stipple it into my face. So wonderful brush. And then one of the other brushes that I use is my e.l.f. powder brush, but I use this like everybody else does for my foundation. And same thing, very similar to the Makeup Geek or to the Sigma brush that everybody talks about. And it's also flat. It has a good diameter. It's pretty dense. But what I like about this brush a little bit more than the Makeup Geek one is that I feel like it's softer. So I also use this to stipple in my concealer when I'm done buffing in my foundation. And then the last one that I really like a lot is this Kirkland dual fiber foundation brush. And as you can see, it's not as dense, but the fiber, the way that it's done, the synthetic fiber, it really gives me an airbrush look with this brush. And this one I don't use to stipple in my concealer because it's just not dense enough to stipple it and leave it nice and smooth. The other 2 brushes that I use, but that are not my favorite per se, that I don't reach for as much, are the Real Technique brushes. And I feel like they're extremely too small, and this one is extremely too dense. So I do use them, but not as much. Usually I'll reach for these when these are dirty. So those were my foundation brushes. The next thing I want to talk about are my sponges, and these are going to be a little dirty, guys. These are this is a Soho sponge, and this one I bought it at Nordstrom's Rack, and usually I will find these at Nordstrom's Rack for $3 to $4. Works exactly the same like the Beauty Blender. You wet it and it expands, and this one, same thing, you wet it and it expands. And they're really nice quality sponges, and I love these to also stipple in my foundation and my concealer. Next is my powder brushes. I have 3 powder brushes that I usually use. This is a Soho, this is a Sonia Kashuk, and this is a Real Techniques. Out of these 3, my favorites are the Real Techniques and the Soho. The Soho, and as you can tell, they're pretty much, there's a big difference in size. The Soho one, what I like about it is that it's nice and soft, and that it's not so dense, so I'm able to put powder just on the areas of my face where I want to put powder, under my eye and in my forehead. Now with the Real Techniques brush, this one is so big and so nicely packed that I can just use this to put either powder foundation on my face, or to put on just powder, setting powder all over my face. So these are my 3 favorites. Now one thing I forgot to talk about was this brush right here. It kind of looks like a paintbrush, but it's not. I bought it at a beauty supply in my area, and this one I like. I don't use it for concealer. This is a concealer brush. I use it to, when I use primer, I use it to put on my primer on my face, and it does a really good job of blending it into my face. Now the other brushes that I use for concealer that are one of them, I don't think it's a concealer brush, or maybe it is. I don't remember, but it doesn't say concealer brush on the barrel. But are these two right here. This is a Kirkland concealer brush, or a foundation brush, I believe, and then this is a Sonia Kashuk. I think it's also a foundation brush, but I use both of these for my concealer under my eye. They're both pretty dense, and they're both really soft, so they work really well to blend in the under eye concealer. The next set of brushes that I want to talk about are my blush brushes, and I only use 3 on a regular basis that I really like, and these are it right here. And this is the Real Techniques blush brush. And what I love about this brush is that it is so soft, extremely soft, that it just blends my blush so nicely. The other two that I use is this tiny blush brush, and this is from Jafra. I bought this in a set of brushes a long time ago, but it's also really soft. What I like about this is that it gives a really precise application. And then the last one is a Face Secret angle brush, and that's exactly what it is. It's an angle brush, and I like this because it is not huge. It's actually a really good size, and it fits perfectly to put on my blush. So, and then there's another brush that I use, but this is for cream blush, and this is my Handy Kabuki from Bare Essentials, and this is what it looks like. And obviously it's supposed to be to blend in foundation, but what I use it for is for cream blush and cream bronzer. So I use it usually with my Dream Mousse blush from Maybelline. This is what it looks like, and then this is what it looks like. And what I do, it fits perfectly inside the little container, and so what I'll put it in, and then I just stipple it onto my cheek, and it does a great job. And that's one of the reasons that it's so compacted in there. And then the other thing that I use it with is my Dream Matte Mousse from Maybelline also, and I bought this foundation a long time ago and never really used it because it was I got it too dark, and I got it in the summertime and it was still too dark for me. So what I decided to use it for is for cream bronzer. So I also do the same thing. I pat it in here, and then I pat it into my face as a bronzer, and it's been working amazing. So that's another brush. And now moving on to my highlighter brushes. My highlighter brushes, I use 4, but the 2 that I really love are these 2 right here. These 2 are, this one's amazing, this one is good, let's just put it that way. This is an e.l.f. Professional bronzing brush, and it's very it's not dense at all, and the bristles are kind of soft, but I usually use this tip right here. I use the tip right here, and what I do is I'll dip it into my bronzer, and then I'll, you know, staple it onto my face. And then this one is actually a painting brush, and I got it at Michael's, and this is from Winsor & Newton. Now this brush is amazing for highlighter. It's super tiny, it's really small, too big to use as a blending brush for your eyebrows, but for your eyes, but it's perfect for highlighter, and it's very soft and not dense at all. And I dip it into my highlighter, and then I just brush it on to all the areas that I want to highlight, and it gives the perfect amount of application, and I love it. I really do love it. the other two highlighting brushes that I use are the e.l.f. stippling brush that everybody knows, but I feel like it's too dense, and then the Sonia Kashuk stippling brush. And this one's also pretty nice. This could probably be in my 3 instead of 2. So, and that's pretty much it. Oh no. The other set of brushes that I want to talk to you guys about are my bronzing brushes, and this is what they look like. It's 5 that I usually use. Obviously, with all these brushes, I don't use them all together, but those are the 5 that I have for bronzing. And my top 3 are these 3 right here. Now, this one is also a painting brush, and this one I believe is a Michaels brand, but this is so good for, I have found that it's really good for blush and bronzer, and it's really nice and soft, and it fits really well in the hollows of my cheeks. And I really like to use paint brushes for my makeup. Those are probably some of my best brushes. And then the other bronzer brush that I use is a e.l.f. blush brush. But what I like about this one is it's tapered, and so it also fits in perfect in my hollows. And then the last one that is so raggedy, but I've had it for so long and it still works pretty well, is my Avon brush. And this is what it looks like. And it's also tapered, but as you can tell, the tapered part is kind of, it's already just dying, and it's tapered like this. So like I said, it's super raggedy, but it's soft and it works really well. Also fits very well in the hollows of my cheeks. So that is my video. Those are my brushes, and like I said, I will be doing another video for my eye brushes, because I also have a good amount. I mean, I'll show you guys how many I have, and these are all my, I probably have less than other people, but I think I have a lot. So I will do those at a separate video. And thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate everybody who has subscribed to my channel, and I hope you like it, and thumbs up, and please subscribe. Thank you.